The more people we talk to, it seems like the duration of chemo became longer and longer and longer because he's such a healthy guy. We're both vegetarians. He works out every single day. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and why would this happen to him? I really felt helpless.
Hello, 歡迎返嚟港孩在加，我係 Karen. Usually, I like to keep my channel cheerful and upbeat. But today, I just kind of want to document what's been going on with my life. And things are gonna get real. So, if you're not a fan of me being real, you could click away right now. And I'm just gonna dive right into it. So I've been uploading a lot less on YouTube since this January 2022. Well, a lot happened. First of all, in January, Juan and I, we are both meditators. We went to this 10-day silent meditation course back in January. This is something that we do regularly, every now and then anyway. And at the end of the course, he proposed to me, so we got engaged after our meditation retreat. However, shortly after we decided to get married, he's been diagnosed with stage 2 classic Hodgkin's lymphoma. So as you can see right now, we're not at the old house anymore. So how we found out about this is during the meditation retreat, on day 7, he had a swelling going on in his collarbone over here, and it was so swollen it looks like he had a tennis ball right underneath his skin, and it's completely soft. At the time, we thought, we didn't think too much of it because prior to that tennis ball swelling, his entire left arm was actually almost twice the size of his right arm. So at that time, we thought, oh, you know what? He works out every day. He's a climber, so maybe he worked out a little too hard. Maybe that caused his left arm swelling a bit more than his right. We even went to the doctor. At the time, we didn't find anything. So we just kind of let it be. But during the meditation course, the swelling got worse. So right away, we booked an appointment with his family doctor, and we started doing a whole bunch of CT scans, PET scans, ultrasounds, and stuff like that. And the family doctor, he actually told Juan that this either could be something very mild, or the worst case scenario could be cancer. And well, spoilers alert, it's on the title of this video. It ended up being lymphoma. Before the diagnosis, Juan was already expecting it to be cancer, and I was all like, you know what, we haven't had the results back yet, so it could be benign, it could be just like a tumor that you can chop it off and you're healthy again. But I feel like at the time I was maybe in denial, or I didn't want to imagine the worst case scenario, which is okay. I think it's part of the process. But Juan, I think he was pretty brave. He was like, you know what? He was preparing for the worst kind of thing. He told me he was thinking a lot about death even before the diagnosis. Some people might think that we got married because he's diagnosed with cancer. That's why we wanted to get married and rush everything. But actually, that wasn't the case. We were planning to get married anyway, but it just so happens that after he proposed to me, he got diagnosed. So when he was actually diagnosed with cancer, I think he was actually pretty calm because, like I said, he was already expecting it. And whereas for me, I was like, oh, okay, I guess now it's official, and we kind of need to find out what our next steps are. And luckily, we're in Canada. I would say so far the healthcare system
really took care of both of us. You know, even though he is the one that has cancer, every now and then, for me, I would have this wave of, I don't want to call it depression, but it's kind of like this feeling of dread, or kind of like not upset, not unhappy, but kind of like numbness that I would feel every now and then, or even sometimes just out of nowhere I would just start crying. The good news is lymphoma, out of all the other cancers, are probably the best cancer you can have, because it's 90% curable and we're in very good hands. We have a lot of support. The hematologist that's taking care of Juan's case, she really seemed to care about Juan's situation. At the beginning, we were told chemo is only gonna take around 2 months, and then interestingly, the more people we talk to, it seems like the duration of chemo became longer and longer and longer. So at this point, we're told that he has to go through 6 months of chemo, and then after that, every 3 months, we're gonna have to go back and do checkups and make sure, you know, nothing is coming back, nothing is flaring up and stuff like that. We actually had some traveling plans for later this year, but it's okay. You know, if things are gonna happen, they will happen. You know, if we can, we'll make it happen. If not, it's fine too. So with everything that's going on right now, I think I've learned a few things, and these are the things that I learned. First of all, to reach out for support. At the beginning, I was actually a little resistant of that. After Juan got diagnosed, I was just like, oh, you know, okay, I'll do my best. I'll do everything I can to support him, and I don't think it's necessary to tell anyone about it or talk to anyone about it. But Juan actually was the one that he encouraged me to tell others about it, because he thinks not only him that's needing the support, he wants me to have a support system to help me out as well. At first I was just like, I don't think that's needed, but I did it anyway. So I told people that's closer to me about this, and it ended up really helping me. And also, we're very lucky to have a huge support system, including Juan's mom, Juan's brother. You can see that we're not, you know, in the old house anymore, because we moved in with Juan's mom and his brother. So I don't have to be the sole caregiver. No, I wouldn't call myself a caregiver, because I can't do anything. I really felt helpless, as in I can't offer any help to him, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. So all I could do is watch him suffer at this point. That, and also, you know, do whatever I can to maybe help him feel less painful or less tired. I'm so glad that we have more family members in the house that could support us in many ways. For example, my mother-in-law, she cooks every single day for us. It really frees up time for us. One less thing to worry about every single day, because every now and then there might be complications, and Juan might need to go to the ER in very short notice and stuff like that. At the beginning, Juan didn't want me to drive because he was worried that I might be a little too emotional driving him to the emergency, so he actually got his brother to drive him a couple of times to the ER at the beginning, but slowly I got used to it, and I'm really thankful that we both have meditation in our lives. We do practice regularly, and I think it really helped us to stay calm in certain situations. The second thing that I kind of realize with this whole cancer situation is that, sometimes things just happens. It's not like things happen to you or it happens to someone. It just happens, right? It's kind of like if you were to go hiking, the rocks or the path, they are already there. If you are on a harder hiking trail, it's not like the trail is hard because it hates you, right? It's just hard. It's just there. It just happens to be there, and it happens to be hard for you. And same with cancer. It's not like, oh, why did this happen to my fiancé? Or because he's such a healthy guy, we're both vegetarians. He works out every single day. He's a climber. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and why would this happen to him? Like, that really never ever really crossed my mind. It just felt like, it just kind of happened. So at this point, all we can do is to follow what we've been told by the doctors, and also not Google too much, because sometimes, Google could be a very useful tool, at the same time could be scary. So we try not to Google too much nowadays. If we have questions, we would write it down and ask our doctors about it. And the third thing that I learned so far is that perhaps the best way to support Juan is to be okay myself, to be emotionally stable, not necessarily be happy, not all that be happy, be positive, kind of positive psychology. I don't really believe in that. I like to be realistic and just do my best to look at things the way as it is, rather than having unrealistic expectations and all that. He even told me himself, he actually worries about me and his mom, his brother, his family more than anything else, than himself, really. I mean, going through chemo is not at all comfortable, but mentally, I think a lot of times he actually worries about his family, his loved ones. So I just have to meditate even harder, I guess. And the last thing that I learned, which is probably the most important thing, I think, out of the four, is that thinking about death or even talking about death is healthy, I think, because death is inevitable. Everybody is gonna get there one day, no matter how old you are. It really feels like, to me, every single one of us are on thin ice every single day, but we just like to avoid it and don't look at it. Things could happen, and in Juan's case, this is cancer. I'm not saying that he's gonna die from lymphoma, because like the doctor says, it's 90% curable, so there's a pretty good chance he's gonna be okay. But to the rest of us, it really is the same. You never know. There's accidents that happens every single day, and just by thinking about that, it helps me appreciate life a lot more. And I think thinking and talking about death really helps me to be mindful and appreciate the little things about life. Juan told me the other day that he's been thinking about death as well, and shortly after he was diagnosed, there's this time when he held my hand. He was like, "Wow, your hand is so soft." He said it feels like it's his first time holding my hand again, And really what it is just him being mindful, being in the moment, appreciating the moment. So I hope watching this would encourage you to talk to your loved ones and just to tell them that you love them. If saying I love you to your loved ones or the people you care about is a little too much or a huge step for you, maybe just give them a call. Keep them updated with your life, or just ask them how they are, and just to get a life update. I think relationships and connections are one of the most valuable things in life. Going forward in this channel, I'm gonna update you guys with how going through chemo is like for us in Canada, specifically Calgary right now. And one thing that we noticed is even though we have pretty good healthcare in Canada here, the pills and drugs and the doses he needs to take every single day, it's not covered, even though chemo is covered, but the other expenses with the pills are not covered. Just the blood thinner itself, it's already $900 a month extra on top of everything else. Luckily, his work might be able to cover it. And on top of the blood thinners, there are another additional 6 more different kind of drugs that he has to take. I might make a video about how much it costs to go through chemo in Canada here. Hopefully that's going to be some useful information for some people out there. Thanks for watching. See ya.